It is the end of 2020, and I want to tell you guys about my top 10 favorite books. Now, this is not my top 10 of 2020. It's just my top 10. Y'all ready to hear about it? Here we go. It's gonna be the intro to your book review. Right. Welcome to my channel, everybody. Listen, it's been a minute. I have not been here to see y'all in a nice little grip of time. You know, life just been out here happening for you, girl. Nothing bad at all. You know, just doing me. But I'm so glad that I was able to get here, talk to you guys on this final week of 2020. Listen, I look like somebody's super fancy auntie, don't I? You really can't tell me too much of nothing in this hair, okay? Like, not too much of nothing. And I got a chance to support Black business. I always support Black business and small business, but in particular, this little ditty right here, small Black business, baby. I'm actually gonna put the link down in the comments just in case y'all want to, you know, stop on by. I got it from this site called destinedbydpt.com. Sis is official. Like, she's super fly, and that's where I got my hair. And she got a whole bunch of other cute stuff over there too. So check her out. And in the meantime, I'm about to tell you about my top 10 favorite books. Okay. So first on my list is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks. In the book, The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, a journalist recounts learning about an African-American woman named Henrietta Lacks who died in 1951 of cervical cancer, but whose cancerous cells became the first immortal human cell line called HALU. Now, when I think about this book, the term that comes to mind immediately is Black girl magic. So Henrietta Lacks had the first ever known line of immortal cells, okay? And what that basically means is that her cells in her body constantly reproduce. What that meant was they were able to utilize them to grow them continuously and use them to make vaccines and to do all kinds of studies. And of course, this happened like back in 1951. Y'all know, good old America, our good old medical system, when it came to this Black woman, do you think that they said anything to her family about it? Of course they didn't. Nope. So they just been out here using her cells like yeetity. Ain't told her family nothing, ain't gave them no compensation, no nothing. And she is out here literally the reason why there is still hundreds of thousands of people, if not millions of folks, that is still alive. Whew, child. It's a good book. Read it. Another one of my top faves is The Help. Now, y'all know I like me a slave, right? And so The Help is going to be more so Jim Crow era, where we got a whole bunch of maids. And you know they made it into a movie. And while the movie was really good, the book, of course, was exceptional. Like, just the detail that goes into all of the stories. And in particular, the relationship between The Help and the people that they serving. Like, let me tell y'all right now, this book is long. It's like over 500 pages, but it is so good. So good that they made it into a movie. So some of y'all might have seen it before, but a lot of these really good movies that we see is a remake from a book, you know, because books rule the world. So if you watch the movie, you might as well go ahead and read the book. Next on my list is Midnight, a Gangster Love Story by Sister Soldier. The intricate storytelling in this passionate tale of love, loyalty, strength, and survival will sweep readers from the wealthy North African estate of Midnight's father to the complicated challenges and confrontations of the Brooklyn projects where Midnight lands with his beautiful mom. This story will move your heart and soul and change your life forever. So, a lot of people thought that Midnight was a sequel to The Coldest Winter Ever because it came out after The Coldest Winter Ever. And almost everybody, even if you're not a book reader, you know about The Coldest Winter Ever, okay? But see, here's the thing. It wasn't a sequel. It was a prequel. And it's the story of Midnight, whom we met in The Coldest Winter Ever. I think that a lot of people had a different expectation of this book. And because it wasn't what they thought it was going to be, did not give it the type of love and respect that it deserved. But Midnight is bomb because I love me an alpha male. And everything about this young boy in this book was just so strong and manly. And he just 10 toes down in all of his maleness. And I just loved it, okay? I did, you know. That's why it's one of my favorite books. Speaking of alpha males, let me tell y'all about my next two books. They kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So we have Moth to a Flame by Ashley Antoinette, as well as book 1 of the Ethics series, again by Ashley Antoinette. Now I figure I can talk about these two books in conjunction with each other because Moth to a Flame is the first book and it is somewhat of a standalone. But Ethic, which starts a series, is the sequel that takes place a decade later. So we're not talking about like brand new books here or anything like that. But we get introduced to Ethic in Moth to a Flame. Now, let's see how I want to describe this. You know how you go to the grocery store and you see the Kraft mac and cheese boxes in the aisles? And you're like, oh, okay, I can take that little powder, pour it over them noodles, put it in the microwave, and then I have some mac and cheese. And it's basic, you know what I'm saying? And I think that with a lot of urban love stories and tales, they can be pretty generic, like Kraft mac and cheese, right? But let me tell you something about Moth to a Flame and the Ethics series. Moth to a Flame and Ethics series is like your grandmama's Thanksgiving, Christmas Day macaroni and cheese that she prepped and prepared the day before and let all the seasonings and stuff sit overnight. And then she put it in the oven on the day that you was going to eat it. And then took it out of the oven and it had them nice little crisp edges on it. And the cheese and stuff was still bubbling when she put it on the table. Then you scooped it up and the cheese was just gooey and everything coming all out. That is Moth to a Flame in the Ethics series. Like, it is not your standard typical urban street love story gang banger type of deal. It's just not. It is so good. It is. I'm about to fall in love with these characters where they at in real life. Okay? And then we have Family by J. California Cooper. Family tells the story of multiple generations of African American slaves from the point of view of the dead, Clara, who killed herself and tried to kill her 4 children in order to escape slavery. Now, anybody that knows me knows that I love a slave in my book. Okay? Like, I need a slave in my book. And I get that with Family. It's an older book, you guys. So this is not new at all. It's a classic, in my opinion. I think everybody should read it. It's one of my faves. And I'm going to tell y'all a little story about this book, right? Shame on me, but I made up for it in recent day. So back in the day, when there used to be a bookstore in Fairlane Mall, everybody that's in the Detroit metropolitan area know about Fairlane Mall. And back in the day, they actually had a bookstore in there. It ain't there no more. But anywho, I goes to the bookstore. I'm like, this book looks interesting. I get the book. I takes the book home. I reads the book. And it was so good to me that I read it like that night and I was done. And you know, I keep my books looking good. You know what I'm saying? I don't do no dog ears and just beat up my books or nothing. So the book looked amazing. And I was like, I could probably take this book back. And y'all, I took the book back to the store, returned it, and got my money. And in my adulthood, I feel really bad about that. So I have repurchased the book. So it's on my shelf now. You guys, we have made it to the top 3 of my top 10 favorite books. Next on the list is The Darkest Child by Dolores Phillips. So The Darkest Child was probably the first time that I got an in-depth glimpse of colorism within the Black community. And I'll say that because, let me tell y'all a little something about all this skin complexion stuff. When you are brown skin, like you in the middle, like you not a red bone and you not dark skin and you brown like I am, we have somewhat of a privilege of just kind of being neutral to all of that sometimes. Maybe it's just me, I don't know. But this book really helped to delve into that whole topic. I hear about it a whole lot more now, but and that book is definitely where I saw it quite a bit, and to see it explored within a family, not like strangers out in the street. This was your whole mama out here just, you know, not loving you because of your complexion. And as time has gone on, I've recognized that this is the story of so many people, and it's quite unsettling, especially considering that it still exists to this day. And now we have made it to Perfect Peace by Daniel Black. When the 7th child of the Peace family, named Perfect, turns 8, her mother, Emma Jean, tells her bewildered daughter, "You was born a boy." Meanwhile, the Peace family is forced to question everything they thought they knew about gender, sexuality, unconditional love, and fulfillment. Whew, child. When I read Perfect Peace some years ago, I was shooketh. Okay? Just never in a million years would I have imagined the lengths that a parent would go to have the child that they wanted to have. Like, you just gonna make this up, huh? Mama was off her rocker a little bit, but quite a few people in that book was off their little rockers or whatever. But when I tell you that this book was so well written, and now that I think back on it, I'm like, this was ultimately a book about a transgender who didn't even really want to be a transgender. They was forced into it. Like, oh my God, when I'm thinking back on this book now, I feel like I need to reread it with new eyes. I think I will. And here we are. Our next book, A Child of God by Lolita Files. In this epic saga, Lolita Files unveils the hidden lives of 3 generations of the Bolton clan, a family as cursed by fate as they are blessed with hope. This book has sat at the top of my favorite list since I read it several years ago. It actually is still kind of sort of tied with the next book that I'm about to talk about, but baby, rest assured, This is one of my favorites. And the author, she is so dope, y'all. She has like the livest afro like I've ever seen in life. Okay. She dope. But yeah, back to the book. It's good. Like it's real good. Now the book doesn't have any slaves. That's okay. It still takes place back in the day, down in the South. You get a little migration happening in the book as well. But the drama of the book is from start to finish. Like, I'ma just give y'all this real quick and then I'm done. First part of the book, a baby burning to death. That's it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. Okay, I'm done. And I'm gonna tell you about the next book. Okay, I'm done. I'm done. Okay, wait. And then it was this other. Okay, nope. I'm done. On to the next book. Number 1. You guys, we have made it to book number 1 in record time because sis phone is on DOA almost because yeah, I gotta charge it. So let me get to it. My number 1 book is Black by Joan Vassar. Woo! I got some clapping I could put in here. Okay, never mind. But now Black is a series as well. So thus far it's 4 books. I believe there will be 1 more book in the series. Keep our fingers crossed. Just 1 more book. Okay. Black is my favorite. And then in the series, book 3, Emancipating James, is my other favorite. I'm not exactly sure which one tickles my fancy the most, but the whole series is just bomb. Okay, like I absolutely love this book. Why do you ask? Because baby, it got slaves. Okay, no. Yes, it does. It has slaves, but not in the typical cotton picking slave type of narrative that sometimes we get inundated with in our books. Not that. This has more of a slavery backdrop, but nothing about these Black folks in this book says slave. It is like, I may have been working on somebody's plantation at one point in time, but baby, what I am not is nobody's slave. Quit playing with me. And yeah, it's dope. Black is that dude. Okay, he is that. He that dude. Like, this is the slave narrative that we deserve to hear. If you are familiar with or a fan of the show Underground, used to come on like WGN or something like that a few years back. They had a couple of seasons. I don't know why didn't nobody go and pick that show back up because it was so good. But if you are familiar with it and if you liked it, you will absolutely love the Black series. Like, in my head, I feel like they saw this book and was like, oh, we about to like tweak it a little bit and make us a TV show because they are similar in so many ways. And I love it so much. And I can read it multiple times and just get new stuff from it every time. So I'm currently listening to the series, okay, because it's on Audible now. And it's dope. And it is my absolute favorite in the whole wide world. And I think that everybody should read it. And when I say everybody, like legit, everybody should read this book. All the movie makers and TV show producers need to read this book because I feel like I need to see it on the big screen or at least on my television screen, something. So before my phone goes completely and totally dead, I'm going to just go ahead and wrap up and retell y'all all of my top favorite books. Not of 2020, just my top favorite books. The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks, The Help, Midnight, Moth to a Flame, and Ethic, Family, The Darkest Child, Perfect Peace, A Child of God, and the Black series. And there you have it. So if you all are looking for any great reads, these are my top recommendations to you all. So remember, I'm Tam. I'm telling tales. Read a book.